Welcome to the In It Together Mystery Quilt, a project giving us something to do during these challenging times. If you are joining us much later than April of 2020, then the COVID-19 pandemic is a distant memory to you. For those of us that are enduring it and stay-at-home times, this is a fun project for the confident beginner to the experienced quilter to find something fun to do and add intrigue and mystery to our everyday lives. This brief video will take us through how to select fabrics if you're using your stash, to build confidence, some basic tools that are handy to use, and how to use the instructional sheet on your fabric selections. So let's begin. In your pattern, you will have received your welcome package, a sheet that is fabrics numbered 1 through 12, plus outer border optional and lining, yardages, suggested values, and color groupings as an option to select. There's also space to staple, or as I have done, sew down a sample of your fabric that you have selected. So let's select our fabrics. I have selected some lovely grays, little pop of blue, and a very neutral background. Starting with number 1, I have selected a dark gray. Here's a tip. It's gonna be the inner border as well as places in the quilt. So I have selected something that has strong, confident color that will make a nice pop within the quilt. Beyond that, I have selected some medium to medium light grays, 1 through 5, 6 and 7 being a pop of color in my choice. You do have the option when you look at the sheet to divide your groups in different ways. It's just different ideas on how to do it. 6 being the stronger color, 7 is a little bit of contrast, 8 is a low volume. Then we have just a tiny pop of color that will be fun within the quilt. Mine definitely coordinates with my group too. And then some very low volume or plain background. So some basic tools that you will need to use are your long ruler, 6 by 24, 6.5 by 24, 8.5 by 24.5, whatever your long ruler is that you really like to use, of course that's going to be useful. A sharp blade in your rotary cutter, new project, new blade, always a good idea. Reducing stress on your wrist and making our lives easier. Good cutting mat that's in good condition. And let's talk about some basic rulers besides your long ruler. Of course, you can make do with your long ruler for everything in this project, as well as one addition. There's a couple of options here. You can use a basic square. Anything 4.5 inches and larger will do for you. Very handy. A small ruler that is easy to manipulate to do some marking might be helpful. Not mandatory, it's sort of an alternative to the square. I like to, when I cut long strips, and I may have to do some sub-cutting, I like to have a 6 by 12 or 6.5 by 12.5 or some variation of, it's easy. A tip on rulers, if you are cutting long strips and then sub-cutting from those, try to stick to the same name brand. Rulers are slightly differently marked and may make some differences in your cutting, reducing your accuracy. Nobody wants that. So the other tool that could be very handy but is strictly optional is a really fantastic one called the Strip Tube Ruler. You can use a Strip Tube Junior or a Strip Tube full-size original if you would like. These are fantastic tools. It's going to make part of our process really easy and really fun. And today we can all use a little bit of fun. Anybody can use fun any day. So some basic tools to get you started. Some additional tips. When we go through the process, I highly encourage you to press all your fabrics before you do cutting. Sometimes we're excited and we just want to get rolling, and creases can create some inaccuracies in our fabrics when we're cutting, and we do want to have nice, accurate cuts. The other tip is when you have perhaps sewn some things together and you need to do the next step, I highly encourage you to set seams, pressing the strip set or the item closed before you press it open. A tip about pressing, it's entirely up to you if you'd like to press open or press to the dark side. I'm a bit of an old school girl and I press to the dark side. It's totally up to you. I don't think it makes much difference. The only tip being, if you are a person who likes to stitch in the ditch when you're quilting your final project, then open seams can create opportunities. So choose your pressing well. Also, a wool pressing mat, one of my favorite tools. I think it's the cat's meow. My pressing is so amazing, so flat. My blocks are beautiful. I highly recommend it. If you don't have one, seek out your local quilt shop and find one. They come in multiple sizes. So I hope you're ready to have some fun with us, because we are in it together.